Squeeze into your Spanx and grab your capes. Today we're talking superheroes.
Let's geek out.
Let's go!
All right, welcome to For Geeks By Geeks and the very first episode we've ever done.
Pew, 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 pew. Episode 1!
I just started watching Superstore. Have you seen that?
No.
There's this guy, this girl gets she's like a teen pregnancy, but her boyfriend is this like white piece of crap that, like, he's like a rapper and he's like it's terrible. But every time he ends the thing, it's like
In the future, we can actually have that sound.
yeah. But for now,
Until then,
you're
welcome.
So how have you been this week?
This week has been cool. We're gearing up. I mean, by the time we release this, the timing's going to be a little different, but we're leading up to Christmas. You'll know how behind we were when we post this.
Because you'll see it in 2019.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
That's okay. But yeah, it's been really cool. We're tying things up at work, and it's just been really exciting. I've been hard. It's been hard to focus on work when I know that we've been doing this.
Yeah, I've been very distracted at work, and I feel bad. But like it's constantly running through my mind. I mean, I'm still doing my job well.
Of course.
But, it runs through it. But anyway, you said yesterday you got to see 2 movies, which, I mean, that's big, getting to see 2 movies.
Thank you, AMC A-List, future sponsor of For Geeks By Geeks. Ding. Yeah, because my wife and I like to see movies a lot, and we live right next to the AMC. So we go to the movies all the time, and I tried to get her to see Aquaman, and it's just not her cup of tea. So instead, we saw Mary Poppins, which is also great. I love Mary Poppins. But Mary Poppins Returns.
And as somebody who geeks out about musical theater, I mean...
Yeah.
Lin-Manuel.
Which, okay, so I really wanted him to do well. I remember when his name popped up, or before the movie, they have like this... thing with Lin-Manuel and Emily Blunt, and they're like, "Thank you for coming to the movies," and that was Lin-Manuel.
Yeah, I can see how he was the British one and not the one that's actually British.
And I just leaned over to Caitlin and said, "I really hope I still respect him after this movie, because I love him." Like,
he's got such a good mind, good head. He's a good person. Like
everything he touches, because he's just so ambitious and he cares so much and he works so hard. It works, But when I saw him in the preview, I was like, I don't know that he would have been my first choice.
Right.
I don't like when things feel like they're intentionally marketing to manipulate my feelings.
Right, because like in my head, I was like, is Lin really the right person for this role, or are you just saying, oh, you know what musical theater geeks are gonna love? Lin-Manuel.
Right.
And that's what it felt like. But I was like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not it, and everything will be better.
Anyway, Disney movies marketing to control me. And so that's what this Returns. Like, it didn't feel necessary.
Right.
Like, I don't need Mary Poppins Return if it's basically the same story as the first one.
But with the kids, right? That was it.
Right. And for every song in the movie, like, it was a direct equivalent to the one in the first movie.
And that just feels like it's grabbing at straws.
I know.
And I don't like that. Mary Poppins was a classic. It didn't need to be touched or messed with. It felt forced.
Right. But that being said, Emily Blunt kills it as Mary Poppins.
And she's amazing.
And I love her, and she does a really great job. I just realized we haven't introduced ourselves.
Oh, hi, I'm PK.
And I'm Bozer. Thanks for tuning in to For Geeks By Geeks. This is episode 100, as you can tell by our professionalism.
Right. We've done this many times.
Many times. How many podcasts is this for you?
Oh, I think this is my 50th.
Oh, well, I remember my 50th.
Oh, my God. But on the other side, how's Aquaman?
So I came home for an hour and a half, did stuff for 4 Geeks By Geeks, and then I went and saw Aquaman, and it was so good. Like, I'm not a DC guy, as you can tell.
This is false advertisement. I am a DC guy.
He needed a mug, so I gave him one. I really never got into DC. I don't read a lot of DC. I like the movies because anything superhero I'm going to go see anyway.
Right.
But for being a DC movie and a universe that I'm not as familiar with, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Good.
Because Aquaman often gets
Aquaman gets pooped on, but like I worked at Best Buy for a while, like forever ago.
Yeah.
And my boss and I had this huge conversation that Aquaman might very well be the strongest superhero ever made because he controls all forms of water. It's not that he just talks to sea creatures and swims really fast underwater. He can actually manipulate water.
Well, Mira could in the movie.
And he can too, to some degree. And
he hasn't learned that
comics.
skill then.
Right, because that's like, you're either a warrior or a mage, I think is my understanding, when you're in the... correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a long time. I still don't care too much about Aquaman, despite that. I mean, Flash can time travel, and so he's more important to me. That was the argument. I said Flash was better than Aquaman, and he said... I think I said anybody's better than Aquaman, but Flash specifically. And he disagreed with me, and then he told me that Aquaman's superpower, and he could like freeze the world or something like that.
If he controls the water?
I didn't quite understand the argument. Maybe somebody could fill us in, comment on YouTube where this will be. Because I genuinely, I don't know a ton about him, but Aquaman, I realized was more than just I can talk to fish.
He can talk to fish, and he's got Atlan's trident.
Right.
And he can swim super fast. And apparently so in the first 5 minutes of the movie, he gets like directly shot, and it bounced off of him.
Okay, so he's got like the fish scale, like super skin or whatever.
I guess. I didn't know that was a thing. I was like, whoa.
So he's just like Superman in water.
Yeah. Which is pretty boss. It makes him basically undefeatable, by human means at least.
Right.
So they can't shoot him, they couldn't stab him. But then I think it's only in underwater, because later on land, he then gets stabbed.
Oh. So he might need the water as like a shield.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it's not, like I said, it's not my universe.
Right. And like I said, and then that's deep diving into things I don't really care about. No offense to Aquaman, and Jason Momoa is incredible. And
if you're going to have an Aquaman, choose Jason Momoa.
Oh, yeah. Amazing human being. And I haven't
throws
seen...
hatchets, he grows epic beards.
He's huge.
Speaks Dothraki.
They did the, I think is that hockey? The traditional dance that they do. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, the Hawaiian.
Yeah. I watched them do that at the premiere of Aquaman, and that was the most. I just wanted to like start slapping myself and like just like shout. It was so intense.
Never be as man as Jason Momoa.
Yeah, like my goal in life is to be a quarter as manly as that man, and I think I'll have reached my goals in life.
Just recently, I was growing up my hair.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, if Jason Momoa can do it, I'm going to look like Jason Momoa. So I started just becoming a hairy beast, and it got like a quarter an inch longer than it normally does.
And you're like,
I'm like, no, this is way too long. No.
Oh, no, I would have gone about it. But
I think the abs and the pectorals and the biceps help.
They help make the long, because then you can do whatever you want, because who's going to question you?
Right. Plus, if you have got those epic fish scale.
Oh, yeah, those tattoos everywhere. Yeah, it makes up for it. And
but what have you been up to? What have you been watching? What have you been playing?
Oh my gosh, I have recently started to deep dive back into anime, which feels weird.
What?
I took some, because Ray had never watched. Ray's my fiance. She had never watched much anime outside of like Dragon Ball Z and Naruto, and I was like, I want to get her into it. So I had her try one called Erased.
Okay.
And it's the story about this guy who's like a failed manga artist, but he has this thing where he can go back in time like 2 minutes and save somebody, like something will be off and he knows to go back and do it.
Okay.
Well, then his mom gets murdered. It's the first episode, so it's not really a spoiler. And then he goes back all the way to when he was like 8. So he goes super far back into the past and he has no idea why. And now he has to try to figure out like what that connection is, why he's back in the past, what's that got to do with saving his mom. And it was really cool. It's like a 12 episode show.
Where do you watch it?
You can watch that one on Hulu.
Okay.
I watch everything on VRV now.
Okay.
I just started paying for that subscription.
Good for you.
It was worth it. It's worth it. If you like...
Some of us have to watch free things.
Free is boring. Pay for your stuff. We did that. I've been... Because I know DC is not your world, but I love DC. I'm trying to catch back up on the Flash show and Arrow. And then I always watch Legends of Tomorrow like after it's all complete, said and done. Because then I can skip. No offense to that show. It's
What
great.
do you skip?
I was like, oh, this episode's kind of boring.
This is a filler. It just has nothing to do with the plot.
It's just like an anime. There's like, oh, this is a filler episode. And they do. And all of the CW like shows have these weird like 2 episode fillers. And I'm like, I don't want to watch this. Or
like when they break into Song and Dance.
Hey,
All about it.
they
Doesn't feel
Jeremy
plot
Jordan
moving.
was there.
Okay.
Jeremy Jordan's in Supergirl. I love.
I
Jeremy
knew that.
Jordan. One of our upcoming geeks hates Jeremy Jordan, and I don't understand why. And
We'll have to talk to him about that.
that'll be a push point. Anyway, it's fine. He's wrong, and he knows it. But on that world, I know Gotham is wrapping up. I don't know if you ever got to watch Gotham,
I started really late to the Gotham train.
and that's over. So what's the point of hopping on, right?
Well, because I don't know. It seems like interesting. So I'm in season 1.
I was kind of disappointed because it was supposed to be about Gordon.
Yeah.
And I think towards the end, it's like all of the DC or all of Batman's villains are already in it, and they're like adults, but he's still a kid, and that makes no sense to me. First off, and then
Well, except for Catwoman.
well, yeah, but she's not a bad guy. She's like anti-hero at best.
Okay.
And then she's kind of like Black Cat for Spider-Man. I think that's how I always see it.
I feel like
Cat's-
Black Cat is more helpful. But I guess they're both like hypersexual towards the protagonist.
The bat and the spider.
And steal things and their
Yeah.
cats and
They're very clear, direct ripoff, but it's fine. We're not going to
Whatever.
go into that. That's a whole other DC Marvel thing that we're not going to touch on today because I'm not. Yes, and
yes, and well, I just wanted to say the reason that we started this podcast and YouTube channel was we just wanted a place where we could discuss all things geek, superheroes, anime, comics, video games.
Yeah, oh, hey.
Absolutely. Hey.
Yeah,
And so we just thought, you know what, let's do it. So these first couple episodes, they're going to be rough, and thank you for those who tune in. But we're figuring it out, and we're getting our legs under us, and so each week, the goal is to talk about something else in the geekdoms. Like this week, we're talking about superheroes. Next week, we're going to be talking about Overwatch with our friend Zach Harrington. He's going to be on and talk all things Overwatch. So if you love Overwatch, make sure you tune in. You can find us on For Geeks By Geeks on Instagram, on Twitter, and find us on YouTube. Keep up with what we're doing, and we'd love for you to be part of this. We want to start a really strong community so that you can always get a say. And today, even, we're going to bring that in towards the end of the episode.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, wrapping back into it though, I was going to talk about Titans, but
Yeah.
I have such a love for Teen Titans as a kid that this new Titan show I haven't really gotten to deep dive into. I'm a little nervous going into it, but it's supposed to come on Netflix soon.
Do we have a date?
They didn't give a date. Yeah, you can search that up. But while I was doing it, I haven't watched it yet, but I heard that Teen Titans Go movie was apparently a saving grace movie for that show. Like, it actually gave it a purpose.
Did you go see that?
No.
I did not either.
Everybody kept saying, oh, you should go see it. Like, it's way better than you think. I couldn't. As somebody who absolutely loves the Teen Titans, like, I watched
What stopped you from wanting to go see that?
just the TV show. The cartoon that they revamped. I didn't like
because
that
there's Teen Titans and then there's Teen Titans Go.
And Teen Titans Go, for me, really just pooped on a lot of my childhood heroes. Like, so, they made them like goofy and silly and ridiculous, and Robin is this like really like dark, serious character. I mean, his parents were murdered. Mm-hmm. He dons that cape. He works under Batman, and then eventually finds self and becomes Nightwing.
Right.
But he's still trained by Batman, so there's still that darkness, and I feel like people just completely like goofed off on that. Beast Boy's got a pretty jaded background. Then he falls in love with Tara. I don't know.
Yeah.
Spoilies.
I knew that.
And so, like, all of those put into it, it just felt like they were saying, hey, let's take these super serious teenagers that have all gone through life issues and just aim at the comedy side of it. And I mean, like,
it's a different demographic, isn't it?
I guess.
It's like Y7.
I mean, yeah, Cartoon Networks has really shifted. I think when I was a kid, at least, Cartoon Networks was teenagers. Like,
yeah, you had Adult Swim, you had Toonami late at night, and you get to watch those dark animes. I remember I never had cable, thanks Mom and Dad, but we'd go to like hotels and I'd like stay up and watch Cartoon Network.
Oh, yeah.
And some of those animes, I was like, oh, what is this?
Inuyasha would come on at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Bleach was on there, and Bleach was super dark. Mm-hmm. Dragon Ball Z could get a little violent and graphic. Naruto was on there. I don't know. Toonami was just a good place. Mm-hmm. Gundam was on there.
Yes, Gundam Wing. Yeah, I just remember this kid with an afro and a baseball bat, and he was just knocking in heads. and there's blood all over. So if you know what that anime is, please let us know on For Geeks By Geeks.
And we'll, if you get first to answer, gets a free blue T-shirt.
It's just blue. There's nothing on it. Anyway, so I saw on the internets, the show launches in the U.S. on October 12th.
On the DC Universe thing.
Oh, well, that's stupid. So it's been going.
Yeah, like I knew it was already up, but I've been avoiding it. But I heard it was supposed to come to Netflix. I don't know if that's still true or not.
Well, I just was watching a trailer the other day, and it said Netflix original, which if it was, it would be on Netflix. So that's a big lie.
I feel lied to and disrespected, so that's why I'm not going to watch it.
Play with my feelings, Netflix.
There's a scene where he's like F Batman in the trailer, and I was like, well, that seems a little harsh.
Yeah, they seem to have some broken. They don't get along. They're like in the trailer. It's like we decided that we had different ways of doing the job or whatever.
Feels like not Nightwing Robin, but it's fine. Anyway, going back into the movie world of it, and your love for Marvel, I'll stay away from DC for a few minutes. How was Spider-Man?
Okay, let me just talk directly to the mic. People, if you have not yet seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, you have to. It was an incredible, incredible movie. Like, as soon as I started, I'm like, well, I have to see this again. And not just because I love Spider-Man. It's just, somebody said once that it's like the Spider-Man movie that all Spider-Man's fans have been looking for.
Like an actual comic book movie, not just
It feels like a comic book. Even Caitlin, that was even one that she saw with me. She's like, it's Spider-Man. I'll go see Spider-Man. But the way that it frames the shots and it jumps from thing to thing, it feels like you're reading a comic book. Even sometimes he's like thinking things, and so it's got the little caption. It's so good, and the animation is just incredible. The fight scenes are like really fluid, but action packed. Like sometimes on the big screen,
they don't translate well. There's too much going on, and you're like, oh my god, I'm getting confused.
And they have a way of integrating all these different spider people from all these different Spider-Verses in a way that doesn't feel like, great, now we have more merchandise we can sell.
Right. To be fair, I'm really excited about Peter Porker.
Well, yeah. Voiced by
John Mulaney.
Yes.
My hero. Not something to geek out about, but if you haven't seen Oh Hello on Broadway on Netflix, do yourself the biggest favor. Oh, hello. Best thing you'll ever see if you love John Mulaney and Nick Kroll. They also do Big Mouth.
Yeah.
So, also not an Advent, but I absolutely love both of those people. So, and with John Mulaney being big into Spider-Man and Nick Kroll getting big into animation now, I think it's worthwhile talking about. And Nick Cage was in Spider-Man 2, right? He was Spider-Man Noir, right?
He plays Spider-Man Noir.
I heard he kind of steals the show in certain scenes too.
Well, I have a love-hate relationship with Nick Cage because, like, I know down deep in his core he's talented and there's so much potential there, and he obviously has had a great career. But Ghost Rider, I just can't. There's just those scenes when he loses his mind. I think it's Ghost Rider 2.
Oh, yeah, he starts like sweating, like freaking out. He has that big wide smile, and then like everything just starts melting off of him.
I'm like, well, that was a choice.
Everything he does,
I know,
is a choice.
And it's like, it's not fair because I love so many of his movies, like National Treasure, Face Off, Next. I liked that back in the day.
Oh yeah.
But so his voice lines are really great, but it almost feels like, isn't this funny? We got Nicolas Cage to say this.
We made Nicolas Cage say this. Isn't that great?
Right. And Spider-Man Noir, I mean, it had a really short comic run, so it's already kind of niche. And just the fact that they had Nicolas Cage do it
just really added to the whole thing.
It did. It was great, and I love it.
And I was surprised that they picked the anime Spider-Man girl.
Yeah.
Over like 2099 Spider-Man, who's like one of my favorite Spider-Man. I don't know if you've ever seen.
Oh yeah, I've seen him.
2099.
He comes. I'll no spoilers, but they have a connection to 2099.
Oh, good, because I remember I found the comic for the very first chapter of that, and I bought it immediately. Paid like $20 for it. Yeah. Probably overpaid. It's fine. It was worth it. It's holographic.
It's holographic.
Right.
Oh, sorry.
Now I have to do it all over again.
Hit my
Start from the
metal
top.
leg down here. I'm part Android.
Part Android. Cyborg. Also not in the Titans TV show.
You're right.
Which bugged me, and I don't know if it's because I don't know if he's supposed to be Ben Affleck's Batman's Robin, or what. But that would mean Cyborg is Teen Titans Cyborg, and just hasn't come into the group. Regardless, that bugged me a little bit.
Well, they also have Cyborg's got his own thing going.
Cyborg has his own TV show going.
Please hold.
I think I saw, because we were scrolling through Instagram, and I thought I saw something about that.
Yeah, it was Doomsday. They're creating the Doomsday story. I was scrolling past, so
they're doing a Cyborg movie.
I don't know if it's a movie or a TV show. Let me look for it as you're talking about it.
Yeah, so Cyborg was such a cool character, and he had such a huge emotional impact. I thought, where it was like, oh hey, oh yeah, there's two of them.
Well, that's from the movie. That's from Justice League.
Oh,
Ray Fisher
and
Joyven Wade. Yeah, so
and Joyven Wade is going to play it on the TV series then.
I guess.
I mean, they both look good. That's still a better. Did you ever watch Smallville?
Yeah.
Okay, those were the worst super suits I've ever seen in my life. If you want to pull those up on the screen, Cyborg literally just had a gray hoodie, and Flash just had a red hoodie, and Green Arrow had a green hoodie. And
it's a choice.
Superman had a red, but he always had the red. They're like zip ups. They're not hoodies. Yeah. But
I mean, I watched Smallville during the first season when the kryptonite was just affecting each person a new way, and it was like a villain origin story every episode.
I forgot it was a tank hoodie. Oh, that makes it so much worse. It's right there. Look at that one. It's so bad. This was I remember this scene. They're walking away. I think they just destroyed a factory or something like that. And they just walk away because they're the Justice League.
This is terrible content for both a YouTube channel and a podcast because we're just looking at pictures that you can't see and you definitely can't
I will
see.
add it to the video, but you can't see it. But basically, for those of you who are just listening, what you're seeing is Superman, Aquaman in an orange tank top, Green Arrow with a green hoodie. They're all leather. All of this is leather minus.
At least Arrow went on to do something.
Huh?
At least Arrow went on to do something. Is that that's the same guy that played
right? That's not Stephen Amell. That's completely different. None of these guys went on to follow up in the CW story. Not even Superman, which is really depressing because I thought he did well. Anyway,
he's likable. He was like a family favorite.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed him. And after Smallville stopped being so serious, it tried to do something it shouldn't have. It should have cut when he was done with high school. Mm-hmm. And I mean, he didn't put the Superman suit on until the very last episode, which just felt wasteful.
It's like all leading up that. Anyway, Spider-Man, Spider-Verse, just to put a period on the end of that sentence, go see it. The soundtrack is incredible. It just gets me super hype. Now
Post Malone did it, right? He did Sunflowers with
a lot of the music, yeah. Post Malone did it, as well as many other talented artists. Who I don't know, but I enjoy now. Like, I'll play Overwatch while jamming out to that soundtrack, and I'll just be, like, losing my mind. Losing, by the way, but still, like, feeling super hype.
How does it feel to lose in Overwatch? We'll talk about that next week. Because that's all I'll talk about is my SR hitting the floor and crashing through it. And mine's just climbing to the ceiling.
Oh, nice! Back to Spider-Man. Yeah, but you haven't seen it?
No. With everybody being so busy with work and school, and we just got done with White Christmas, I haven't had a chance. So I think we're potentially going to go see it either tonight or tomorrow night.
Do it.
Regardless, I'm very because Miles Morales might be the best Spider-Man.
So here's a question: who would win in a fight, Peter Parker or Miles Morales?
Oof. Are they like? So I don't know how much you know about the Ultimates and all that that world. Because there's that Peter Parker, but he dies really young.
Okay, let's say Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay.
Versus Miles Morales.
Oh, at this point, Spider-Man still would win. He's got just years of experience on him. I mean, now he's heading up a company. He's got I think it's Parker Tech. Mm-hmm. So he's light years ahead. But what Miles has more abilities. So
he does. He's got the Venom.
He can go invisible.
Yeah, it just feels like cheating.
Once Miles comes into his own skin and really becomes the Spider-Man that he does, I think he can be, I think he's going to I think he's going to completely replace Peter Parker. Like, I think Peter Parker is building up to just be the face of his tech industry and let Miles Morales be Spider-Man, because, I mean, which could have, you know, effects because he's still a kid. He's still in high school.
Right.
But I
love, because the original Spider-Man, like,
and that's
started
why,
in high school.
That's why I think they're building him up, because they brought him over from the Ultimate Universe. Miles Morales was never part of the main universe.
Right.
I know they brought him up, but I think with who Miles Morales is, and the comics are supposed to be geared towards like teenagers and young adults, because then that's why they put Peter Parker in high school. I think Spider-Man is always supposed to be geared towards young adults, like teens. I think it's best to leave Peter, who's now in his like 30s, to us, and give kids this new Spider-Man to look up to.
Yeah.
Which is sad, but so right now I think Peter Parker would win.
I'm wrestling my own mortality, realizing that the new Spider-Man isn't geared towards us? Question mark? Oh, okay.
It just feels like he's geared towards like today, because I think they're doing the same thing with Iron Man, where Tony Stark is stepping down and he's handing the suit off to this girl. If I understood right.
Who?
I don't remember. I remember seeing some. No. I think this is not in the movie. This is They're just handing down.
This is comics.
Yeah. But on the movies, and then we'll go to playing games, which I'm very excited about. Endgame, I'm super excited about. I saw the trailer like 12 times.
Yeah.
I'm pumped. But the biggest thing I wanted to talk about, as I saw it on the way over here, somebody they think Captain America is going to have a happy ending.
A happy ending?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is weird to me, but it started making me wonder if he's going to use the time stone to put himself back in his own time.
Okay.
And
how do they get it back?
No idea. But they said happy ending, so I'm just kind of like theorizing the only way that this could make it happy is if he were to go back in time, stop himself from dying and freezing, so he would just die in the past. And then, if I understand right, like most of the stuff in the future wouldn't happen.
Well, yeah. But here's my theory, because I think you're right on the time thing, but I don't think they're going to use the time stone because, I mean, that got fried, right? When he snapped his fingers, the whole glove got fried. I know you can't really destroy
the Infinity
Stones, but, I mean, Thanos still has them.
Right.
And they're kind of charred into the glove. The flux capacitor thing that Ant-Man makes in the back of the van.
Hank Pym.
Because when he gets sucked in the post-credit scene of Ant-Man and Wasp, if you haven't seen it, it's been out a while, so I don't feel like it's a spoiler.
It's your fault. They disappear, all of them.
Yeah,
and leave him in the.
Ant-Man goes in. What's his name? Adam? No. Scott Lang.
Scott Lang. I said Hank Pym, and I was like, wait, no, that's.
I mean, that is Ant-Man.
It was at one point. It's not anymore.
Scott Lang goes into this portal, goes into the quantum realm, with Hank Pym's wife, other Pym, Mrs. Pym. She warns him not get sucked into a time vortex, and then after that, they all disappear at the controls. So Scott Lang is stuck in the quantum realm. So in Endgame, he comes back.
Right, which I'm excited that Ant-Man, who I guess on the Marvel side of it might be one of my favorite heroes, not Hank Pym. Hank Pym is a piece of crap. Not in this movie, though. They've done a really good job of not making him a piece of crap where he beats his wife and is an alcoholic.
It's Disney.
It's Disney.
Thanks, Disney.
Thank you for making Hank not a piece of crap. But Scott Lang, I think, is such a good... Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just because I love Paul Rudd. And I mean, how could you not? Paul Rudd's amazing. But I'm excited. It looks like he's going to be kind of in the forefront of this movie. Like, he's going to be the reason everything gets fixed.
Yeah, he seems pretty pivotal. Especially when Captain America looks at the footage of Scott Lang at the door and he says, is this old footage? And if you look real close in the top left-hand corner, it says archives. And somebody on YouTube, sorry, can't remember your name, I'd credit you if I could. He says, if you zoom in really close, you can kind of barely make out like 1983 or 1985 or something. So we kind of get a timestamp, but regardless, it wouldn't be live footage because it'd be archives. So that theory is that he uses
She's weaving
flux
in and out of the
capacitor.
time, like the
Yeah.
time waves.
Gets sucked into a time vortex, and he could go back. And so, because of that, Captain America maybe can,
Go back and
back and fix things. But, I mean, you also have to bring in Captain Marvel, because that movie's coming up first.
And she's supposed to be a big pivot because he
Yeah.
gives that like little pager to call.
At the end of Infinity War.
Right.
And so they wouldn't release that if they didn't have a huge plan.
Right. Moving forward and how they're going to use her.
Which I'm really excited, especially that second trailer got me super excited because I've been looking forward to like the Secret Invasion stuff for years.
Well, yeah, because that's huge in the whole world of Spider-Man, especially.
And, I mean, and
just
everything,
Marvel in general,
yeah.
but yeah.
Ever since that you first got a glimpse of Thanos, like sitting on his throne up in the universe,
gosh.
and you caught his chin, I was like, Skrulls! I really, that was a long time ago. I didn't really notice who it was, but I just got excited because I thought it was Skrulls. I thought it was Secret
Right.
Invasion, and so now we're for real getting Skrulls.
Right, like we're actually moving into the right direction.
So do you
which
have any
is super
theories on Captain Marvel's Secret Invasion stuff?
I haven't really given it much thought. I'm trying to like not get too excited about it because I don't want to like freak out and be like, oh, they're going like full on, like people are going to like start disappearing. They're going to start turning on each other because they don't know who's who. So I'm trying to like not.
Well, I couldn't help myself.
Yeah.
I already did. I already geeked out. Here's my theory.
For Geeks by Geeks.
Here's my theory. Captain Marvel is... In the trailer, it keeps going back and forth about how she has this old life, she has these memories. I really feel like she's a Skrull.
Do you really?
I do. And if you read some of the comics, I think they've taken...
Two stories.
the original Captain Marvel, the man, Captain Marvel, and Carol Danvers, and kind of just combine them into two stories. And in Captain Marvel, he was a Skrull for a time, but he didn't want to fight for the Skrulls. He wanted to fight for Earth.
Right.
And she even has a line that says, I'm not going to be part of your war. I'm going to end it. So I really feel like she's having all these memory things. She's not sure who she is. And they say, do you know who you really are? And she's always bleeding like this blue blood. Which, I mean, she's a Kree. Or, she's not a Kree. Carol Danvers was not a Kree. But they say they basically made her a Kree.
Yeah.
And that really, sorry, I think that's a really stupid line when she's in the car with Nick Fury. It's like, so you're a race of noble warriors? She's like, heroes. Noble, warrior, heroes. I'm like, how many words do you want to string together? Like,
right.
Anyway. So I think she's a Skrull, and when you get two shots of, you have like the blue-green suit, and then you have the blue-red suit, I feel like one of them is the real Carol Danvers.
And one of them is
a Skrull. And I think, what if some of the people that got snapped away were Skrulls?
So then they're going to come in and...
Come back. They're going to come back in Endgame, and they're going to save the day.
Oh my...
That could be a pipe dream just because I can't handle the idea of Spider-Man being gone.
I don't think Spider-Man's gone. I mean, obviously there's another movie, but I heard the next movie's happening before all of this stuff with...
Well, if we got a trailer, it'd be great.
Somebody released something. They announced it at like this event, and I think it was in Mexico.
Anyway, I'll look this up. The most generic. No, that's not.
No.
Anything.
I don't know. It's fine. They haven't like officially released it though, because I know then they came out and Jake Gyllenhaal was there, and he officially announced that he was playing
Mysterio.
And it was on this panel, but the panel of people got to see the trailer, and I'm jealous of those people. But anyway, we should stop rambling and play our first game. Are you excited?
Yes. So if you have any theories about the upcoming Endgame or Captain Marvel, go ahead and send it to us. We'd love to talk about it. We'd love to hear from you. But until then, let's play a game.
Let's play a game. First game, something we have not tried. I'm very excited. Superpowers with the catch. So we've got this handy dandy bowl here.
Hey, that's a nice bowl.
That's a nice bowl. And inside these bowls are a list of superpowers, and we will each take turns drawing one, and the person says, I've got this power, and the next person will put a catch to it, saying, let's say, I can shoot lasers from my eyes, but...
You have an astigmatism, and you can't really see where you're shooting.
Perfect. All right. So,
because we want For Geeks By Geeks to be a place that we can have fun and just like geek out about stuff. And if you're listening on your way to work, you can play along with us. So here we go.
I'm nervous.
We all wanted superpowers.
Well, yeah.
And so I finally have the ability to have super strength.
But your bones can't handle the weight, so even if you lift it, your bones will just crush under the weight of this super strength.
You have like massive biceps.
Gigantic muscles.
But your bone structure is like, didn't drink enough milk.
Right,
as a
so
kid.
if you like lift a car, you're just, all your bones will just break and you'll die.
But wouldn't the bones, okay, wouldn't the muscles, say if I'm lifting something here, wouldn't the muscles themselves
Stop a little.
help? Okay, you're probably right. Drink your milk, kids.
That's the actual moral of this. All right, let's see. I've got...
What's your superpower?
Well, I've always wanted superpowers, so
Yeah?
thank goodness, because now I can trans-dimensional travel.
You can travel through dimensions,
Travel through dimensions.
but unfortunately for you, those dimensions are all you from middle school.
Okay, so I can only go back or go through to another version of me in middle school. Like I just have to keep going to me in middle school and reliving the worst parts of my life. It's beautiful.
And none of them were good.
No, like all terrible.
And infinite possibilities, not single one.
Not a single one was good.
Is good for you.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Such is the curse of a geek.
I had a friend, Emily Miller, shout out. You're married. She described middle school as the armpit of your life because you look weird, you smell weird, and nobody likes you.
It's weird that nobody liked anybody in middle school. Like you had like 2 friends, and then everybody else hated you.
Even those friends were really mean. You know, like whatever.
That might be something we should talk about off air.
We'll work through it on a couch. But now I have infinite knowledge, so pretty smart.
Infinite knowledge.
Mm-hmm. I know all things.
You know all things. But you're a paraplegic who can't speak. So what good does it do you?
That's so tragic.
Well, that's the only way I can think to...
What about like Stephen
Hawking?
Hawking? Can I like type out my answers?
No.
Like I have no
You're
use
literally
of
a
my-
vegetable. 100%. You know everything. You know you could stop hunger and war. You've basically got the power to be a god with no way of communicating anything of you knowing.
I mean, if I have that much knowledge, wouldn't I be able to think of a new way?
Maybe, but
But I guess if I have no way, I can't speak, I can't move.
no, you can barely blink.
Would they be able to like put sensors on my brain? And hopefully technology has
invented that.
advanced.
You could have invented something like that. You have all
These
knowledge.
useless legs and
Arms and body.
and everything. And these osteoporosis bones of mine.
Ugh, see, it's just terrible. Let's see.
Because everyone wants superpowers when you're a kid, but
Yeah.
if you really put it in real life terms, how useful would they have been?
Well, luckily for you, you've got telepathy, which could have been pretty useful as a kid, I think. I would have cheated a lot. Just like got into the teacher's brain.
You would, except you can only hear the thoughts of animals.
Oh, that's still cool. I know what? I'll take that. That's still, it could be worse.
You can't communicate with them.
No, I just know
just-
what they're thinking.
Hear what they're thinking. Which would be like food, mating.
Oh
cold.
god, just constantly like mating. Like
Mating,
just
mating,
mating.
It's spring and bunny season.
It's like, oh god, you just hear a bunch of animals' thoughts rushing in. It's mating season. Mating.
And you
Hey,
can't stop it. You can't control
you can't,
it.
I have no turn off.
No.
Hey girl, what that thing do? It's like, oh god.
That's a nice tail you got there, Fluffy.
Ugh.
But I've often thought, like, if you don't know me, I love my bulldog with all of my heart. She is my life. She is our life, Caitlin and I's. And I've often thought, I would just want to know what you're thinking. Except I really think I'd be disappointed.
Yeah, like,
It'd be nothing.
I would either want them to be thinking about borderline nothing. Actually, that's what I'd want. Because what if they're thinking like really dark, terrible thoughts?
It's just like depressed
Right.
all the time.
Like Edgar Allan Poe level depressed. Just like we just are looking out the window. Like, what if she's like looking out her the window, contemplating her life? Like,
Just seeing
I don't
all
want
those
to know
cars.
that.
Just
Right.
like, were I to be under one of those tires?
Yes. Each day, time passes. Every day, the same blue car. Life repeats itself.
Wait, why is someone driving past my house every day?
You're in a neighborhood. I hope they're getting home every day.
This is depressing me. But good thing I have telekinesis. I can move objects.
With your brain.
I never have to reach for things. Things can just come to me. I can Matilda and clean my house.
But they can't weigh more than half a pound. So it's still cool that you can like bring soda and stuff like that. But I don't know that you could open the door to the fridge.
I've got like, I just had surgery and have weight restrictions kind of thing. Like you can't lift more than half a
And
pound.
I think you have to be within 6 inches of the object. Something like that. Yeah, that's two
It
stipulations.
would be really cool at parties for about 5 minutes.
Like, check this out, guys. Ooh.
Wow!
He like pushes a finger down on his brakes.
just breaks your feeble bones.
Like, oh my god, what have you done? Oh god. That's fine.
A couple more.
Couple more.
Hope you're enjoying this as much as we are. If you have any stipulations or catches, feel free to share them. We'll put a post on our Instagram.
I think we could draw the last one and just let the world play with us. So here we go.
Okay.
Phrasing. Super speed. Super speed.
Super speed. And this is the thing that I've always wondered about super speed. And it's like a real catch that only The Incredibles has addressed. You can run super fast, but your clothes could either catch fire or they would just disintegrate by the friction. So you'd be naked all of the time.
So I can only use my super speed if I'm naked, essentially. Is what you're saying?
And
I think I could think of worse things. I'd go to jail a lot, but no one would see me, so it's...
I mean, you're super fast. But, I mean, okay, keep it PG-13. There would be some things on a male's body that would not do under going that fast. Especially with no support.
So basically,
no
I'd have to
jock.
keep it, like, under a certain speed limit. I could run it maybe, like, 10 miles an hour. I was just gonna fly off. Well, my limbs would, too. So basically, you're saying, if I were in a, like, standing on a plane, all that turbulence would just destroy me. My body's not built to run super fast.
Right. But, I mean, even if I granted you that, like, saying part of the power was your body could take it. Like, you know, your muscles
I'd become
and
aerodynamic,
things.
and yeah.
But there were, you know, there's things, like, your hair would just maybe, like, fly off your head. And your clothes...
So I'd always be bald, too.
You'd be bald. You would be undesirable in every way. You couldn't wear anything unless you found.
Do you think bald people are undesirable?
Yes, I do.
Wow. You know what? You should just draw your next card.
I see you're already. Some people are already tweeting. Okay, here you go. This is my answer. Every time someone asks me what superpower I'd like to have, this is always my go-to: flight. I'd love to fly. I want to be able to go, avoid traffic, just fly to where I'm going. It would be so freeing.
Flying.
I would be with the birds. I just picture myself flying over the Grand Canyon, taking in the majesty of it.
But you can only fly straight up.
Can I fly back down?
Yeah. You can only go
vertically.
You can't go horizontally. You can literally, and if you lay down, it doesn't count. You still go straight up and down.
Okay, but you know what? In middle school, or no, 5th grade, that would have totally changed my basketball game.
Yeah.
Like, I would have been that 100-pound, 5-footer.
But you would literally have to get right underneath the net and then jump straight up. Because you couldn't move forward with it.
You get none? Like, even...
I guess you could...
Like, even jumping. Okay, what if... Well...
That'd be
That would-
forward momentum.
That would suck.
It would literally... it would stop all of your forward momentum. You just...
Everything's straight up. It's like hitting a wall.
Oh, God.
That would be so inconvenient. I mean, it'd be great to, like, okay, say you're at, like, Cedar Point, and you're like, oh, how long is this line? Oh, cool.
But then, like, if you try to say something, I'll save you, like, run and then you jump and then you just start going off and they start flying away. Oh, God, you'd be the worst superhero in the world. How many do you have?
I have 4.
Okay, this is going to be the last one.
Okay, last one.
Oh, God.
I mean, you'd have to get, say if somebody's falling off a building, I just have to
You have to
right
line
underneath them.
Yeah, because
Otherwise I'll miss them. And I can't get back down before they do.
No. Oh, my God.
You get 1 shot.
That was the bell. We're knockout. Stickum powers?
Stickum powers!
Like stick to the walls? Like
Yeah.
Spider-Man? Okay.
That's what Stan Lee called them.
I like that, though.
A moment of
Stickum
silence
powers.
for Stan Lee. Yeah.
Wow, that's a small moment. I was ready to give it to him, and you're like, moment of silence for Stan Lee. Anyway.
It was a moment. I'm sorry, Stan Lee. I cried. Stickum powers, like you can stick to walls.
Okay. I'm afraid of heights, so they don't really want these anyway.
But you're afraid of heights. You can only you are not strong enough to hold up your body weight.
Hey, it's true right now. Great.
You can stick, but you literally can't go fast where you can jump.
Touching a wall, like, look what I can do. What are you doing? Oh, trust me.
It's pretty cool.
If you tried to pull my hand off,
Couldn't do it.
couldn't do it.
No way. Also, okay, one thing that I get in Spider-Man's suit, like, okay, say he designed the feet so that his feet can stick to walls.
Yeah.
And, that's accepted. I'm okay with that. Spider-Verse, Miles Morales has these sick Nikes, and if anybody wants to get me anything for Christmas, they're
Sick
like
nasties.
$245.
Wait, they're actually selling them?
Oh, yeah. Google it. You can get on Amazon. But Nikes were not designed for stickum powers to power through. Yet he stands on the wall with these
He
Nikes.
stands on. I was gonna say, because I was like, okay, but maybe he's still using his hands.
No, he stands on the wall with his Nikes. And I'm like, these must be either A, magic Nikes, or
He modified them, but they would.
he didn't modify that. This was like Origin, just got the powers.
Oh.
What's happening? Oh, I'm standing on the wall.
They did that with Spider-Man, the first movie.
Yes!
Rami Malek. Not Rami Malek. That's amazing actor, but I can't remember his name.
And I mean, I guess if we're talking about superheroes, we should just accept that logic can't always be.
Nice thing is, while logic dictates these,
It doesn't dictate the movies, thankfully.
So, for those at home, the power you're going to try to ruin is water breathing.
You can breathe underwater.
So we'll put this on our Instagram and Twitter. Just comment in the comments how you would make a catch for this. Leave that out so we don't forget. Okay, now we go over to Instagram
Hey!
and play. For those of you who missed it, we put on Facebook. Would you rather?
We put on Instagram and Twitter. We don't have a Facebook.
Yeah. And I don't think that's gonna happen. So don't look in Facebook. You're not gonna. You might find FGBG, which is For Girls By Girls. Maybe that's the thing on Facebook. But we need to overtake that.
I mean, we're
too,
basically the same account.
honestly.
But yeah, we asked the community, give us would you rather questions that have to do with superheroes or Marvel or DC. And so we pulled some so we can discuss. Feel free to share your own discussion. You can find the post on Instagram and Twitter. So from Jake.s, we have, would you rather have the power to time travel or the power to dimension hop?
Okay, so I've read through these because I wanted to give some thought to it. I think, me personally, I would rather be able to dimension hop.
Why is that?
Time travel is very easy to ruin things, like the butterfly effect. If I step on a butterfly, everything's going to go wrong. Dimension hopping, I can see how things played out in other worlds. I don't know if you've ever seen Dragon Ball Z, he goes back in time, but he actually goes into somebody else's timeline. So he's like, in that sense, he's kind of changing dimensions.
Okay.
So I think I'd rather just see, like, because then you could come back, and like, I was like, oh, well, in Universe 5 or Dimension 5, they invented this, and that can cure cancer. I'll bring that back to my dimension and cure cancer and become super famous. If I go back in time to, like, or go forward in time and then come back, I guess if you went forward, you'd be fine. But anytime you go back, I could slap some old lady, and then now I was never born. That's too much weighing the options for me.
Yeah, but with like dimension hopping, you have no idea what you're about to open. Like
You could just fall into an
Pandora's
acid dimension.
box. It could, and maybe you like now we're just two guys having a podcast, making a video, but in another dimension,
The Nazis won.
The Nazis won, and we're not allowed to do this, or we're constantly fighting for our lives from like darkness monsters. Kingdom Hearts. Okay, I might want to live in that universe. But like there'd be some really cool ones, and for me, I have like massive FOMO, fear of missing out, and so I would always be hopping dimensions to see what the other one looks like.
But then you have to keep dropping into the other ones that you've been to. So like, don't forget about me. I got to go back to Dimension 2. I just saw them. We're grabbing some pancakes or death waffles, depending.
Death waffles.
I don't know what they're doing there.
So for me, I think I would do the time travel, but I would use it with discretion. Like I messed up. I'll go back 5 minutes. Like I feel like with Harry Potter time turners, as long as you stay within a certain amount of time, you're not going to
hurt anything
change
too much, right?
everything. But you could change small acts. But again, I have an addictive personality, so I might be like, oh, this is kind of cool. I wonder if I go back 3 hours, and what if I go back 3 weeks, and then
Or what if I stopped Hitler from doing him thing, and then I become the savior of the world?
that's too much pressure. I don't want that.
I would. That's why I know myself, and I wouldn't, because
Well, to thine own self be true. Here's one from Dylan J. Floor. Hey, Dylan. Would you rather live in the DC universe or the Marvel universe? And we had to follow that up with asking, am I a civilian or am I a hero? And so he said both situations, but if it was a hero, you'd be your own. Like you're not an existing hero. You're your own superhero. Well, in your opinion, what's the biggest difference between DC and Marvel universes?
DC has those like the Metropolis, Gotham. They've got their own cities. Mm-hmm. Marvel's got New York, Chicago, and that end. Mm-hmm. They're really similar in that world, I guess. I think DC might be a little bit darker.
It feels darker.
It feels darker. Maybe that's because the movies are making it out to be a little darker. But like the Justice League, like has their whole thing up in space.
Yeah, it feels much more space oriented.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think if I had to be a citizen, I feel like I could still live in like Elkhart, Indiana, and be totally fine. And in DC, I live in Smallville, and things just keep happening terribly. Like, they bring up small cities, and things are still rough there. If that makes sense.
But, I mean, even in the Marvel Universe, bad things happen in the small cities.
That's true, too.
Like the, what's that guy that kind of started off the whole Civil War with the Registration Act?
Oh,
he
like
blew up
country.
That small, like, in the comics, I mean. In the movie, it was like the Sokovia Accords or whatever. But in the comics, it was like just a small neighborhood. It like blew up a kindergarten.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's superheroes everywhere. Like no matter what universe you're in, there's people with powers all over you.
But then there's the mutants. And I think that's why I would choose to be in the Marvel Universe. Because I think mutants are just kind of a normal thing. And they're like everywhere. So it's this cool, like, I can marry a mutant. I could... like, mutants are just a race of people that are walking around.
Right.
Where I don't think DC has anything like that. And I think that intrigues me. Like, I think you would get to... DC feels like they have their heroes and they have their civilians. Marvel feels like they have super people just in society.
And, yeah, and, like, that's, like, that quote's going around with just having a stroke.
A genius.
Really no. Oh my. Creator of Spider-Man. We just had a moment of silence. Stan Lee.
Oh, buddy.
I was like, Scott
buddy.
Lang. I'm like, oh, whoa. I'm just, well, that's it for me. I am done with this podcast. His name again?
Stan Lee.
Stan Lee.
Hello?
I think I just trans-dimensionally traveled. He has this quote about like anybody can be the hero, and like that's a common thing in the Spider-Verse is that anybody can be behind the mask,
right?
And they have this really touching moment it's like, in Miles Morales, sorry, off topic, but in his universe, Spider-Man dies. And
Right.
so they're all there, like, honoring him. And I started tearing up because all these people have these, like, Spider-Man masks on. And then directly after that, it's like one of Stan Lee's final cameos in a movie, except he's animated.
Right.
And the thing he says is, he asks, Miles Morales, he doesn't have his powers yet, but he just buys this, like, costume, and he says, can I bring it back if it fits? And it's like, well, it always fits, eventually. And, in the movie, it's kind of cheek and tongue, because it's, like, no refunds or returns. But in the metaphor, like, all of us could eventually become the hero that we wanted to be. And I feel like it's so interwoven in the Marvel Universe. That's why I love it. It feels more approachable. It feels more achievable for, like, just any of us. Like, we could develop our superpowers. Anything could happen. We don't have to be an alien or, I don't know, anything bad happen. We just have started evolving.
Look at Iron Man 2. When the kid has the Iron Man mask on and just puts his hand up to the robots.
Right.
He didn't have superpowers, but he was a hero in that moment because he looked up to Iron Man.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot more of that, at least that I've seen, because I haven't really deep dove into to DC outside of watching the cartoons and stuff like that. Now, on the other side of it, if I was a hero, my own hero, I'd rather be in the DC world. Because, like I said, in the Marvel world, you're few and far, like, they're everywhere. In DC, they're few and far between. Unique. You're more unique. Because, like, in Marvel, like, it feels like everybody's a hero or they've got powers. Yeah. Powers seem more like My Hero Academia, where a higher population of people have some kind of ability, whether it was granted them through gamma radiation, just being born with it, experiments, or building super suits. Like, being a hero or supervillain or whatever in Marvel seems much more common than on the other end, where it seems like a rarer case. So I think I'd rather be a rare case if I was going to be a hero. But if I was going to be a civilian, Marvel 100% of the way. If I'm going to be a hero, DC. That's my take on it.
I'm still Marvel either way. Only because, like, they have the Great Lakes Defenders in Marvel Universe. Well, and I could stay right here, and I could be a superhero.
I could be a hero in my backyard.
That's right.
Love it. Okay.
A couple more. From Adam Shoemaker and all the Marines out in California.
Hello.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for all that you do for us. He asks, would you rather see Deadpool come to the Avengers and join up, or continue and be like the anti-hero he is and kind of be on his own out there?
This one's really easy for me. I'd rather him be on his own.
I don't think he could be with the Avengers. Can you imagine anybody trying to work with him?
Yeah, thanks, Fox. No, no, and that's just it. Like, I think he was there. He's built to be his own man, mess around with Spider-Man, and that's what he's good for in my world. And he's fun, and he's great, but I'd rather he just be by himself and be there to, like, weave himself in and out just to pop up and make a quick cameo and mess around. And I don't know if you read it, with Stanley's passing, moment of silence. Proud of you, that's a real moment.
I think whatever his name is, apparently.
Yeah, I think it would be fun for, like, Deadpool to start making cameos, like, randomly throughout the universes, because he doesn't abide by the rules. That was a really cool idea that came up. But I think he makes more sense in that role than he does actually helping.
Yeah, it would ruin. I think it would ruin what he is. Like, the best thing about Deadpool, even in the comics and in the video games and in the movies, is he is so self-aware of what he is and the fact that he's in a comic or in a movie.
In a video game or whatever he's in. He's breaking the fourth wall. That's important, and I think that would ruin what the Avengers has created, because he's going to need to break the fourth wall, and that's not what this is about. It's a very serious thing with a little bit of humor here and there. Deadpool would just take it.
Yeah.
Or he wouldn't be true to Deadpool.
No, he would be like the Deadpool from X-Men Origins.
Mouth sewn shut, and nobody wants that. Just
way too serious, like not funny at all. Nobody wants that, including Deadpool. Watch post-credits of Deadpool 2. Here's one from X Ashley X Renee X. Apparently there must be another Ashley Renee out there. Would you rather be Tony Stark's personal assistant for a year or trade places with Robin for a year?
I think we're going to disagree on this one. I would rather be Robin. 100%. I would rather... There's a lot of training that comes with that. Like,
there's no disagreement at all.
Really? Oh, good. Okay, I really thought you were going to be all about...
Do I want to be a personal assistant or a superhero?
I mean, he's not a superhero.
Let me think. Okay, well, whatever.
But yeah, I would much rather be Robin. And yeah, you get trained in a bunch of martial arts styles. You actually get to beat up bad guys.
Yeah.
And you work under the great Batman.
Yeah.
100%. Easy. I really thought we were going to be a little more... Like, I figured you like... But you would learn how to build super suits and stuff like that through Tony Stark.
I mean, Happy knows stuff, but I don't think...
He's his bodyguard, though. I'm talking like...
Oh.
I think what she's saying is like, you would work alongside Mr. Stark, building his suits.
That's not what I think of when I hear personal assistant.
I think that's what I was taking it. But even with the idea that I would be his right-hand man, I would still rather be Robin. I'm assuming it as either you're Tony Stark's right-hand man or you're Batman's right-hand man. And I would rather be Batman's right-hand man.
Like, Rhodey is not...
So
War Machine is not his personal assistant. That's an equal. In my mind, personal assistant, correct me if I'm wrong, Ashley, personal assistant is like, Mr. Stark, you have a 4 o'clock
job.
Well, so yeah. Well, then do I want to be Pepper Potts?
That's
a different question, because like later she like gets a suit of her own.
She becomes like rescue or something like that.
Yeah.
So, and then same front, okay. Then you still get to get a suit.
But for the most part, she just like runs his PR, and I would rather be a nighttime vigilante.
So let me change the question for you. Would you rather be Tony Stark's sidekick, and I'm going to go ahead and swing it and say right now his sidekick is Peter Parker, or would you rather be Robin?
Do I want to be Peter Parker or Robin?
Yeah.
Peter Parker.
Really? I would rather be Robin, I think. I know it sounds weird. That sounds really dark. But again, I'm afraid of heights, so... I don't like heights. I think Peter Parker gets the poop end of every stick he's ever been in. But he's a good guy.
Well, and I mean, in the MCU, he's still young, he's still learning, but
so is Robin's young and learning.
Yeah, but I don't know. He gets a little more respect, I guess.
He gets beat around a little bit more, but still, I think so. That changes things. So if we're going off what that says, personal assistant or Robin, you take Robin.
Robin.
But if you took being Tony Stark's sidekick, which would either be Rhodes or Peter. Okay, what if it was Rhodes? What if it was War Machine? War Machine or Robin?
I mean, that's a tough question, because War Machine is extra. Like, nobody needs that much firepower in like an everyday scenario. Like that, he is.
Yeah, like the gauntlet.
He begins and ends a war all by himself. And
that's why he's the machine of war.
That just feels like so much destruction.
Okay, War Machine or Robin?
I would pick Robin in that case. Like, as much I would love to be in an Iron Man suit and fly, it's just
he's over the top.
It's just to destroy.
Yeah.
I don't know how many things you would use that for in like a I'm just gonna do good that doesn't end with like a swath of destruction and all these innocent lives lost.
I mean, he feels like he does a good job, but regardless, yeah, I would still pick Robin.
Me too. Okay, let's do
the last two here.
A couple more. This is for an attractive sounding name. Ray of Sunshine 700.
We'll have to look her up on Instagram. I bet she's beautiful.
We should. Okay, y'all. Would you rather be part of the Justice League or the Teen Titans?
This one was super easy for me. I didn't even have to... Teen Titans, 100%.
Why?
So Justice League has hundreds of members as time goes on. They're spread across the world. They're really cool. But Teen Titans has the tower, and there's just 5 of them. It's a small group. And they're interchanging. Like, Teen Titans is like the league before you go away. And if I'm going off of like Teen Titans or Young Justice or anything like that, like Nightwing stays pretty much head up. Like, he heads up that. And I just think, I don't know. I think that's cooler.
Well, yeah, your thing seems to be like you don't want to be one of many superheroes.
Heck no,
like,
I want to be one of
you. Want to be the guy.
I want to be the guy. Like, that's why I love Robin, because Robin was a sidekick for a super long time. And then he's like, you know what? No. I'm going to go off to this town, and I'm going to become Nightwing, and I'm going to become my own hero with my own brand of justice. I'm going to take everything that was taught to me, but I am a self-made hero. I love that. And, like, all of the Teen Titans eventually fall out and do that. They're like, okay, some of them go to be part of the Justice League. Some of them go out to do their own thing. And that's awesome.
And I don't know if it's just like my insecurity of being able to handle that much responsibility on my own, or what I prefer to believe is I'm just a team player and I like working with people. But I feel better about knowing that I'm not alone and that if I'm one of many in a league, like if I need help, I can call like 20 other people.
Yeah, but like
from the tower in space.
Are you ever gonna be able to one up Superman or Green Lantern?
And I don't need to, because Superman is generic and unstoppable, and I have my own very strong thoughts about Superman.
We'll come back to that because that's how we'll end it. Because Superman, the Superman Man of Steel movie was my least favorite movie I've ever seen.
It's just like, okay, you know what Superman feels like? You're on the playground, you're playing tag, or you're like playing pretend with your friends, and you're like, oh, I shot you with my arm blasts, and they're like, nuh-uh, because I have invincibility. And we're like, okay, well,
I freeze you.
Oh, I can't because I'm like super fast.
Heat vision.
Or heat vision.
That's ridiculous. And
it's just like
he's
selfish, unfair.
He's the Vox Machina of comic books. He comes in and just fixes things. Like, oh, nothing should work. Oh, Superman should have. Like, I think it was Justice League. Mm-hmm. Everything was going wrong. Vox Machina. Boom. There you go. There's Superman. He fixed everything. Don't even worry about it. If he had been there from the beginning, we wouldn't even have this issue. I hate that. Yeah, anyway,
it's not.
I don't hate Superman. Superman's got a lot of depth as a character in the comics.
I know.
He's got way more depth in the comics.
He's got really great moral character, which, as for an alien, like,
right,
it's kind of cool that
and he's got a very easy weakness people can exploit if they can get their hands on this rare material.
Yeah, and the only weakness isn't even on this planet. I'm like, okay.
And there's different colored stones too. But anyways, yes. So I feel that.
Last one from Joe Newton Balls. Would you rather be on Cap's team or Tony's team during Civil War?
Okay, hang on. Let me see if I can remember this. So, Cap's team had...
Cap had...
Cap, Bucky, Black Widow? Or was Black Widow and... One of them had Hawkeye. Because I remember Widow and Hawkeye going head-to-head. Time to Google.
Well, okay. I know Tony Stark had Spider-Man, War Machine.
Black Panther.
Oh, because it really came down to, like, the Accords, but also defeating Bucky or helping Bucky.
Right. And so let's go off that. Are we with Bucky or against Bucky? Because I think that's really what it falls down to. Like, that's what you're agreeing to when you sign into this, of whose team you're going to join.
And because of that, like, I feel like Stark took the... Like, I understand he was wrestling with the I don't want to be responsible for all this destruction. So many people died, and it's our fault. We need to get ourselves in check.
He took the political right.
But I really feel like Cap, he looked past all the political and looked at, like, the person, which is Bucky.
This is my friend.
And this is... It could have been a discussion, but they all started fighting about it. Which... This is movie Civil War, by the way, not real comics, not the real Civil War.
Because that was, in that one, I would 100% take Iron Man's side, which I know sounds weird.
The registration?
Yeah, because it made sense for what he was doing.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it was like, there's the whole secret identity front, that was the whole point. But, like, that's putting other people at risk. Because, yes, you bring some of the heroes to light and their families, which... That's why Spider-Man falls directly in the middle, because he's got both sides. I want to defend my family.
Yeah.
And if you know I'm Peter Parker, that puts them in danger. Mm-hmm. On the other front, people can go around with powers unknowingly and hurt people. So while I think I see the good side of it, there's also that negative.
I mean, we could open this wide open to, like, gun control laws, which doesn't really feel like a discussion we want to have right now, but it's basically what it is right. You have this power, you have this thing that could hurt people. Should everyone know that you have it? Should you be like legally
and it wasn't
going
to be disclosed to everybody. I think you just had to like put it on your ID, if I remember right.
Like the government had to know.
The government had to know that you had abilities.
Like, do you trust the government with that information? Will they exploit it?
Right. I don't think it was public knowledge. It was for the government to know that you had abilities.
I think in comic book, I probably would not be for the registration.
But for the Sokovia Act, the Sokovia Accords, I think movie-wise, yes. I'm guaranteeingly with Tony. I can see why you might not be with Tony in the comics, but like...
It's hard. It's a big question.
It's literally one versus many, and I didn't like the Cap, of all people, took one over many.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was his best friend.
And I get that, but like... And then I get why Tony felt betrayed too. He was like, he's my best friend. And he's like, no, he was your best friend like what about us? Like,
Yeah, that fight scene at the end of Civil War with Cap and Tony was like really
that was hard to watch.
Hard to watch.
Yeah,
because it's like you're friends, and we just want like it gets really frustrating because it's like when you're fighting with a friend and you know that at the core like you do love each other, and if you would just focus on that, you'd be able to get past everything and get to the bottom of it. But as soon as you're focused on what's right in your own eyes, then you're just gonna fight, and if you have superpowers, it's just gonna get real messy.
And it was a super hot mess, and I felt so bad. But I think in that world, I definitely take Tony's side to it.
Yeah, I'm torn. But anyway, keep watching for other things that you can be involved in. We really want to involve the community as much as we can into these discussions. We want to bring you into these discussions in the future. So watch our Instagram and Twitter for questions that you can weigh in on each week. And another great opportunity that you can get involved in is the Geek of the Week.
We'll get that eventually.
I think that's great. I think we just need to keep that.
Yeah.
So what is the Geek of the Week?
Geek of the Week is going to be somebody who sends us a 30-second or less video talking about what they're geeking out about. Do you collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards? Tell us about it. Do you like Pokemon cards? Tell us about it. Why I keep saying on cards, I don't know what's going to say
It
Magic.
can only be cards.
Only card
Only
game.
card.
But like, if you collect a bunch of anime, if you collect a lot of mangas, if you do anything you geek out about, if you have the biggest video game collection in the world, tell us about it. We want to see it, and then we will post that video or add that audio, depending on how you're watching it or listening to it, so that people get it at the end. So you'll be closing us out.
Yeah.
So if you want to be a part of that, go to email us at forgeeksbygeekspodcast@gmail.com, and we will go through them, and we will find the one that we like best, and we'll keep having that archive, and we'll cycle through. So we'll try to always give you a chance to do it.
And so you just keep submitting. We'll have brand new ones each week. And if you enjoyed today's episode, let us know in the comments below and on the podcast that you're listening to or in the YouTube description. If you have any suggestions for the future, like we said, this thing's kind of getting started. We're building, and we're really excited about it. It's just a couple of guys talking about fun stuff. We want to have new guests on every week. So if you're interested in guest starring with us and talking about something that you geek out about, let us know. It's really kind of exciting. There's a lot of potential opportunity. So with that said, stay tuned at the end of the episode for the Geek of this week. Until then, I'm Bozer.
I'm PK.
And let's geek out.